All right, we're back for episode 19 of the Dunhallow Mystery. Sorry about the pause there. We had a player get called away for a work-related crisis. Nonetheless, we kind of stopped on like an interesting note where you were trying to decide, holy shit, something really bad is going on, and we need to get back to the village of Dunhallow, and you're heading back toward the village at this point, debating on what the right course of action is. The village is within sight. It's not far from here whatsoever.
So what is the choice? Hugo or the brother?
There are no lights coming from the city at all.
Dindish.
There's no lights? Like, isn't it so late everyone's going to bed? Not yet? Okay.
We go to St. James Tower. We raise the alarm. We march on the manor. And we do what must be done.
Well, that's a very militaristic type of approach.
It's a necessary approach.
Do we know...
I mean...
James St. James is not on...
I'd like to do that.
Being paid off?
But I don't think it's the right thing to do because he's just going to cover it up. You know, he's going to be like, oh, well... You know, she just died. She's being old, and now they're bringing people in with pitchforks and all sorts of other things. And he's gonna turn around and make us look bad. That's what he's gonna do. They know him.
You're right.
Of a sort, at least by reputation.
You're right.
He's on the tape.
You enter the village. It's very, very quiet.
We won't be able to gather anyone up. Maybe a few people.
Since Dr. Greystone's house is pretty much right there along the path,
It is.
I'm going to actually say we'll stop here first. Dr. Greystone seems to know this man almost more than anyone.
Well, you could say in the capacity of trying to find somebody to validate the death.
Yes. So we will stop here first and then on to Brother David.
You've come to buy a way of Dr. Greystone's and to settle along the edge of a swift-running creek. Of course, as you recall, he lives in like a water wheel house.
Mm-hmm.
There are no lights inside. You know that he is a night owl, however.
Mm-hmm. You
You hammer on the door. There's no response, but the door seems to kind of move within the threshold like it's not been locked.
We...
It is a chilly autumn night.
I look up for the chimney. Is there any smoke coming out of it?
There isn't.
Huh.
When you turn back toward the rest of the village, not a single chimney is billowing any sort of blue smoke from the wood of the forest.
I'm gonna push my way in.
Okay, you push your way through the door. The door is simply open; it is not locked at all, and you're back inside Dr. Greystone's house with the drying herbs that are hanging from the rafters, the strange bric-a-brac and other things that can align the shelves on this doctor's office, or what serves as office. You can see where he sleeps, a cot that's behind a curtain. He is not there. All of his things are here, but he is not here. His walking stick is gone too. The one that was near the door that he walked through the woods with when you saw him a few nights before.
Maybe he's out collecting plants like he was before.
We didn't see him when we came by, did we?
It's a big forest.
True.
Call your eyes instantly turn toward his workshop table where you see a single scythe. It is lying on the table still.
His knife is over there on the table.
So he's not gathering. He must be on a walkabout? I don't like this. I'm going to continue. I'm going to go actually now to the ale house, basically. The town hall.
Back to Dindish's town hall.
Back to Dindish.
You come back toward the town hall, and there is no chimney smoke coming from it. There are no lights from within. The door has been fastened shut from the outside.
So this one's actually shut.
It is, yes.
So we unfasten it?
It cannot unfasten from this side. It is locked.
Yeah.
Okay, from the
The set of doors that would open into the town hall. Remember, this is where people would come if they're under siege. The townsfolk would retreat to the town hall. It is large and a very large, heavy wooden, one-story building.
I pound on the door a couple times.
You hammer up on the door, and you kind of hammer. You feel the thickness of the wood. There is no response.
This is, my lord, if you want to validate, there is the back entrance through the kitchen.
Well, then let's walk around.
I'll stay here in case there's a crossbow vault waiting for you when you open that door.
Fair enough, Sir Harold. Or Sir Harrison.
Yes.
I've already been scolded once for walking in a building, so...
You turn around, you're toward the back side of the building, and you find the door that Cole was talking about. It is not nearly as thick as the other doors, but it is locked.
Okay, it is locked as well.
Yeah, there's a keyhole up on the door, and it is locked. You can hear something inside, though, like beneath where the foot of the door meets the threshold, you can see just a faint trace of light. It's flickering. It's barely visible, just where the door and the threshold don't quite meet.
I'm gonna like lay down onto the ground and like put my ear up to the edge of the door.
Roll an eavesdrop test. This test is easy.
Okay. 67% chance to succeed. And I rolled a 10.
Nice.
16, sorry.
You hear this boiling or bubbling sound. Like a slow boiling.
Someone's cooking something. It's got to be attended. They wouldn't leave that on alone.
You don't smell anything.
Laundry.
Well, knock on the door or pick it.
You don't smell lye. You don't smell food.
I pound on the door, back door.
You pound on it, and you can feel how thin this door is. It does not budge.
May I have your leave?
Well, Tuck, have a chance first.
You don't need to break everything.
He's already down on hands and knees as he pulls some pins out of his hair and starts fiddling with the lock. This lock is easy to pick.
Easy?
Easy skullduggery.
Okay, and it takes me no more than a minute for my professional trait. So easy skullduggery will be 80%.
His nimble fingers work these 4 different pins.
17, success.
It quickly tumbles open. To click, Sir Harrison opens the door, stepping inside, impatient.
Never.
You see that there is the cauldron that was in the fire and is still burbling and bubbling. The water is boiling, but the fire is dead.
I take a look at the cauldron and what's in it? Just water?
Appears to be water.
Take a whiff.
It's no smell at all.
Is the pot? I like put my hand up to the edge of the pot. Is that warm?
Roll coordination test.
Okay.
It's awfully dark in here.
All right.
This test is going to be challenging.
All right. 39. 49.
Hiss! Do you want to reroll?
No.
Oh, it burns!
It burns.
You suffer 6 damage from fire.
Oh. All right.
Ah! You withdraw your hand from the cauldron.
Hope that wasn't your sword arm.
He withdraws his hand. You come inside with the lamp.
I'll poke around.
Casting inside. This cauldron is boiling hot, but there is no fire or fuel to flame it.
It could have been snuffed out. Or I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
What was the wife's name? His son, Dindish's son's wife's name?
Amelia?
Amelia?
Mm-hmm. Amelia Olmsted.
I'll call out then to Amelia, to Dindish, to Dindish's son.
You call out those 3 names, but
That's
there
not
is no
good.
response.
It's not a good idea. There's boiling water. That means they haven't put anything in there. There ain't no fires, no lights. It's too fucking cold to not have any fires.
It's like a damn ghost town.
Right, so I'm gonna
Take a look throughout the rest of the kitchen and then.
I don't think
You rifle through the kitchen and you can see leavings of bread and cheese that were there from just a few nights before when you had slept here. About 5 days ago now.
And then I go into the next room. And look
Whoa,
in there,
whoa,
too.
whoa, whoa, wait.
He comes into
I
the
don't
main
listen,
room,
sorry.
stepping through the swinging door back into the chamber where you had arranged the chests and barrels for Dindish just a few nights before. They're still there.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, whoever was here left in haste. You can see muddy boot prints all over the ground. Many muddy boot prints, in fact.
Would I be able to suss out
the candles
how
are
many
not
sets?
the candles are not smoldering by any means, but they've clearly been lit recently. What's that?
Here.
Would I be able to figure out how many sets of prints? Like how many people?
You need to make a hard survival test.
Okay. Or are they walking, in a single file line to hide their numbers?
That's unusual, but
You said it was, I'm sorry, what difficulty? Hard?
survival. Yes.
Survival. I have a hard would be 35. I rolled a 54. So I do not succeed.
You see a number of boot prints going this way and that, up the stairs, all around the main chamber. Like, there are a great number of people gathered in here. Some of the boot prints are still fresh.
I don't like this.
What hour is it? We left.
It is the witching hour.
Okay.
It is midnight. Your eyes turn toward that heavy ticking clock that is nearby, and you can see this mahogany face, and you can see the hours are turned just about half hour past midnight.
What can we bar this door with? This back door. It's heavy and as posing as we possibly can put in front of it. We need to make it through tonight. We need to get a fire in these hearths, and we need to get something against this door.
I don't think this village is a good place to try and make it through the night.
Gaunter, your eyes are drawn through the windows toward something. You head toward the window and look outside. There's this red haze, clearly from a fire, coming somewhere off on the horizon. It's not in the village, it's past the village, on the horizon.
Fellers, I think there might be something going on out here this way, down yonder. Come check this out.
Bar the doors and save our lives.
If you'll recall, I don't want to bring this up, but the last time we did that, I'll say this: evil doesn't sleep.
The creature couldn't get in, remember?
We didn't have to get in. All we had to do is wait.
What do you think that is, Gaunter?
Then we leave it on the day.
I don't know.
I don't care what they're doing.
Shut the door, start a fire, and then come over here and look at this. This looks like something big's going on. Quite a ways yonder, but something big's going on out there.
Clearly you can see it coming from somewhere out in the distance. Quickly, Cole, you pull out the rudimentary map. It's that place that's marked on the map. It's coming from that direction. That unknown place out in the woods.
Seems like something. I believe you now, Tuck. I think you were right. This ain't flour. Or this is flour.
Yeah, it is. So, do I see... Am I able to see the...
Yeah, you can all see this outside. Okay. You're gonna huddle around the window, and you can see out in the darkness, past the shadows of Dunhallow Village, somewhere on the horizon. There's like a red haze of flame in the night.
Come on, gents. That's red.
We've got to know who we can trust and who we can't.
It's fire. If we lock ourselves in here, we'll just burn to death.
We're not going to burn down the town hall.
All right.
Well, I for one want to know what's going on out there.
Mm-hmm. We must know.
I mean, we don't have to go riding horses up in the middle of it. Maybe we can sneak up and take a peek from afar.
Mm-hmm. Sound plain to me.
Where we go?
So we want to go to the area where all of these villagers are, who have treated us like outsiders this entire time and have set us up to have the Lord killed out there. So go to where they're at.
And spy on them. See what they're up to.
I'm not saying I want to do that. I'm just saying we don't want to be in a building that can burn down.
Alright. You want to, if this is what you all want to do?
Or be in a building that we picked a lock to, sitting around acting like we own it when those villagers get back.
That's a good point.
Let's get the hell out of here. Let's go sneak around, see if we can figure out what these folks are up to or what's going on down here.
I don't do sneak well.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can send a
and
little
in
fella
the
up
fall,
there.
where there's leaves, no one sneaks well, but we will do this if this is what you want to do.
Tuck makes a good scout. He always has, so... If he's up for the task, maybe we could get close and send him in to take a better look.
You want me to do it? I'll do it.
We're gonna go figure this out. I don't like this, not at all. These villagers, these damned little downings, I don't like any of it. So I don't even think it's worth going to Brother David's at this point, unless anyone really wants to go check it out.
So as we go, is we going to where they is we going back up to the manor?
We're going to where they is.
You collect yourselves and head outside,
First,
leaving the stronghold behind you.
we're going to.
You heard those words, right?
I'm going back to the
structure
doctor's
doesn't
hut,
burn.
and I'm going to acquire anything I might need. A lot of them. I'm just going to take it and write an IOU.
Okay. You'll gain 3 corruption. You'll find 2 doses of laudanum and 3 smelling salts.
I'd like to scrutinize the interior of this place and see if there's anything that maybe I couldn't make me a decent little two-handed improvised reach-style weapon.
Certainly. In fact, you need only go around to the backside of this water wheel. There is this old, there's this old pole arm. This old pole arm has been sitting there like a reaper's weapon, used to kind of aside to cut wheat that you can arm yourself with.
All right.
And in fact, I think we have stats for this now too. Oh my gosh, we do in fact. So, skip. It is a simple melee weapon. It is two-handed. You must be engaged with it. And its qualities are powerful, slow, vicious, and weak.
Okay.
It has encumbrance of 3. He hoists this side up over his shoulders. It's like a long straight pole with a slightly curved end used to sheath with a single post at the top, and another at the crown, so you can. But they've long since broken off, so you must hold it like some grim.
I have to.
That's all right.
Oh yeah, you're one-handed, aren't you?
Yes.
And
But
I
he's
have
man.
a for the glory drawback too, which means I've always got to leave one hand free. Although, of course, I do have Mountain of Men, so I can equip a two-handed weapon in one hand.
He grapples the side off the side of the water wheel, off the kind of that's fixed outside with a number of other tools near a shed, and he picks it up, and it's a pretty large and imposing thing, but perhaps it's the shadows of the size of the weapon that makes look Gaunter even larger than he is. He almost seems to kind of open up like a flower given to the sun, armed with this heinous-looking weapon. Will you all head toward the flames?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving nothing to chance. You watch carefully over your backs as you head toward the fire somewhere out there on the horizon. Eventually you leave the village. You can smell smoke in the air. It's coming from the east. You're trudging through the hills. It's dark. Do you want to use your lantern or do you want to use the starlight to see by?
I'm gonna put out the lantern. Or I'll hand it to somebody, but I'm done with the lantern.
Yeah, I would say
I'm not
put them
gonna
out.
be the-
We'll go by the starlights in the red haze.
I had to stuff mine when I picked up that weapon. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Be sure to mark off your torch that you'd spent earlier.
Yeah, I already marked it.
And be sure to mark off your pint of oil as well.
No, we took that from what's his name?
In yours, but I've got a lantern. I got his lantern.
He has a lamp,
I've got his
Not-
lantern.
a lantern.
Well, I walked out with the lamp.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I
I
didn't
never
realize
dropped the lamp.
That's right, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I told you that. I was
Okay.
like, I'm going straight out the door.
That's right.
I'm not dropping
Okay.
this.
So you still have that lamp.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna set this down.
This will do good. So you have 2 pints of oil,
Okay.
or 1 pint now, because there are pints inside the lamp.
I didn't actually mark that down.
Yeah.
So.
All right. You head toward the flames, and you can hear sound, like the sound of people gathered in the distance. You're getting closer.
Does it sound like almost shouting for like they're fighting a fire, or does it sound like something else?
Like talking,
Oh.
murmuring, rambling, chanting, even.
Before we get before we get too close, so as we wanting to spy, I'm whispering. So as we wanting to spy on them, is that what we wanting to do?
I think at this point it would be prudent to be cautious.
We's, if we're talking about me, is wanting to runs. You fools are wanting to come see this.
You're not
You
doing it right.
feel pretty confident with the amount of darkness and whatever may be going on up there could easily distract them from. They wouldn't be able to hear you. There's just simply no way.
So, if this is it, then
Just do your best to walk where I walk.
Walk this way, he said. Everyone will need to make a trivial stealth test.
trivial.
If you fail, you will suffer from mental peril. If you critically fail, you will reveal everyone.
90%.
78.
73.
59.
Critical 34.
Critical success.
34. Success.
I saw the 9 and I was like, hey, don't let it be. Okay, it's 49.
So everyone succeeded?
99.
Oh no!
Really?
Are you serious?
Oh no!
99.
Dude.
You begin creeping toward this gathering. There are a number of people up here. You see Sir Jameson St. James with his helmet with the blue on the top. You see the split-nosed Loeg amid the people. You also see some of the other notables from the village. You see Dindish Olmsted. You see Dr. Greystone. And you see others you have met in this few short weeks you've been in Dunhallow. It's been about a week and a half.
Is Brother David there?
You see Brother David and the monks as well.
Sons of
bitches. They are all arranged around this old tree that must have the width or the thickness of a man who would stretch his hands from one end to the other. This old tree with these huge knotted roots that kind of stretch across the earth and make their way into the moist undersoil. And the tree it still has leaves that begin to fall around here. You can see this huge fire coming from this pit. This pit is just filled with logs and ash and stuff. It's just blazing hot, this huge bonfire. Massive bonfire. And your eyes kind of look toward the horizon where you can see a similar bonfire set up on a distant hill, which must be that second point that was on the map that you saw. Because there are two maps you have seen. There are two places on the map you couldn't identify. It couldn't be the Gralsteaders.
Huh.
They're way too far away, but it's that second unmarked place on the map
Okay.
that you had seen. And the people are kind of gathered around this tree, and foremost, kind of standing amid the roots, is this woman with red, short-cropped hair. It's Amelia. It's the wife of Dindish Olmsted, and she is speaking to the people. From here, you can't really make out much, but you creep forward, closer and closer. And closer you go, and then you begin to realize that the people are kind of gathered about the foot of where she's standing, and the monks are actually digging in the soil around the roots of the tree by hand, scooping wet soil away. The people are gathered too closely to really see what's going on from here, but you could get a better vantage if you were simply to ascend a nearby hill.
Beacons on the hill, please.
Yeah.
You begin kind of clambering up this very steep, wet, moist hill that is very, very close to where they're at. And then suddenly, all of the people kind of grow silent. and they begin to pull something out from beneath the roots. They pull out this slender, young, willowy woman who's thin, who looks with large doe-like eyes, pale skin, long red hair, and she is completely nude. Her nipples kind of perked because of the cold. They are pulling Maud Linkhouse forth from beneath the roots of the tree betwixt the soil, and her eyes burn with this blue light. And suddenly you're all stricken with terror. Everyone needs to make a hard resolve test.
Well, Mike, at least you've gotten your critical spell out of the way.
You say that, but we'll see.
30.
Hard.
40.
36.
I'm gonna re-roll.
Take that. Want to re-roll
Last
that?
3 weeks I hadn't made one roll.
Yeah, I'll
Made
re-roll.
2 rolls tonight.
Misfortune.
Yeah, but terror. Horrible.
Terrible terror.
Zeros are zeros, right?
What'd you roll?
Zeros and 1.
That's a crit
That's
success.
Crit
Success.
success. So yeah.
So 001?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
You steel yourself, perhaps because of Madame Krista's revelation, and that the pieces kind of begin to fall together. Clearly, the Baroness lives now in Maud Linkhouse's body, or perhaps she always did. Whatever has happened here, this transference of spirit has been brought to completion. Hugo Downing is nowhere near this at all. For as far as you know, he's still back at Winterborne Estate with the body of the Baroness. One second, I need to roll first. Wham! Suddenly, everything goes black in front of you as your head kind of spins, and Wesley falls to the ground, collapsed as he's knocked out, as you all are surprised by these people who come from the darkness. There are a total of 4 large-looking men and 1 slender woman. Come forth from the darkness, catching you completely unawares. Their initiative.
Baddies.
Yeah.
Wood people.
People from the woods. 8 plus 1, so 9.
9.
Yep.
Baddies.
Put Dunhallow villagers.
Baddies. 9.
From the darkness they come, and they quickly fold upon you, as you all are surprised.
Well,
70% chance to strike you, Cole.
if I'm flat-footed, it doesn't matter, right?
Well, it does, because they still have to roll the strike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a miss, but I'm going to use a misfortune point.
Yay!
One's out of the way.
One misfortune. You get a misfortune, and you.
Okay. One of them rushes toward you with a shillelagh in hand and lunges for this very young-looking man, and he stumbles on the earth as he almost falls to the ground, picking himself back up, leaning against a nearby tree. He looks at you dead in the eyes, and his eyes are kind of widened, like he's intent to take you down. He messes with his attack. Sir Harrison, hi. Sir Harrison is assaulted. Critical success.
Ugh.
Whack! Hit over the head, knocked out. Surprise. Sir Harrison quickly collapses right beside Wesley. As your eyes are... Oh, shit, they're all around you. Tuck, 70% chance to strike for the third one. 92.
Delicious
misfortune point.
misfortune.
06. Tuck begins like scrambling, trying to figure out what's going on. He drops it over his hand and whack, he goes spinning, falling down almost into your arms as another one leaps upon you, Gaunter. And Gaunter, all is dark. The only one standing is you. Now it's initiative. Okay, Cole, you started the round. Everyone around you is lying. They've been knocked out. They've been struck over the head with the shillelagh. One of them looks toward you and says, "Put it down. Come with us. Everything will be fine."
Well, fuck you!
It doesn't have to be this way. Drop your weapon.
What the fuck is that?
What do you want to do?
Above board.
You're
We've never
literally-
dealt with knocked out people
So,
in our game. It's been like
it's-
so long.
I know, right?
Can we maybe read the rule on that? So
Sure.
I have a...
So when somebody is knocked
rules.
out from a knockout, they're out for a number of turns, and they suffer some peril too. So those who got struck, we have to do it individually. Tuck, you suffer 10 plus bonus. Tuck, you suffer 13 mental peril. Gaunter, you suffer 9, 10, 11, 12 mental peril. Wesley, you suffer 16 mental peril. And Sir Harrison, you suffer 14 mental peril.
Okay.
So they're knocked out for a number of minutes. You don't know how many minutes that is,
Can I...
but keep in mind that your turn is 10 seconds.
Right. Would I, from previous encounters, would I know that I could wake them up or not?
They cannot be awoken. They're knocked out.
They're knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, they're knocked out. They're lying all around you. Madam Krista's
Fight or
collapsed
flight.
over.
Fight or flight.
You're the only one. You're surrounded by 5 of these villagers.
Human beings scared out of their wits. Fight or flight.
But I didn't get scared. That's the thing. I'll pull my dirk and I'll start to back away.
Okay.
Just leave me out of this.
You draw your weapon for 1 AP, and you're like, "Leave me out of this! Leave me out of this!" And you realize they've got you surrounded. They've got you pinned between a couple of trees. There's no way out unless you try to break through the ranks, and then you will be leaving them behind.
What is going on?
Put the knife down. It doesn't have to be this way.
You tried to knock me out. You did knock these people out.
Everything will be fine. Put your weapon down.
I don't
Come.
believe you.
We'll take you to Dindish.
I don't care about
He'll
Dindish.
explain everything.
Dindish is evil, and you all are too. What is that wicked shit you're doing?
What do you want to do?
So where's the tree? Can I at least put
You
my
your
back to the tree?
Sure. You put your back to the tree, which allows you to take cover if you wish to do so.
Well, I want to try and at least know my surroundings.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stall here.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to
You
do.
wanna stall?
I'm
Okay.
trying. However that works. I'm trying to stall.
Okay, so here's what you do. You will make a guile test.
Oh,
Basically, you're trying
God.
to...
Not going to do this well, man. I'm gonna try and just.
your guile test will be what your order or chaos aligned.
I think I'm nothing right now.
No, you're-
Oh wait,
You're order aligned.
I'm order.
Okay,
By one.
your test is going to be hard.
I knew that. All right, I have a 15% chance. I have played this character as an asshole for a reason. 97 is definitely not going to get that.
You want to reroll that?
I have a 15% chance.
You try stalling for 1 AP, so it's 2 AP you've used. It's fine, just Dendish will explain everything, they say. You are fine, everything will be fine. They lower their weapons a little bit. Just calm down, Mr. Marius. Everything will be fine once we explain everything. You will understand.
Explain it now.
You'll understand.
Why did you have to? Why couldn't you explain it to them?
You want to continue trying to stall?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever I could do.
Your last test was challenging or hard?
You said hard.
Okay, so this one's arduous because you failed the one before.
I mean, that's a 0%. I mean,
You also got a 1% chance of success.
You said it was 15 last time, right?
oh
So your
yeah,
chance
so
is
5%.
Yeah, that's way better.
It's 5 times.
Oh, 2!
Yes.
You managed to actually keep them. You managed to actually keep them from leaping up on you for just a mere moment. But you see, kind of moving, the crowd is kind of parting. Maud is still there, covered in soil and earth, and still naked as the day she was born, or as the day that as Baroness Winterborne was reborn, born in the soil and the roots of the tree. But there was someone passing between the people, and you could see this person is incredibly, frighteningly tall over the rest of them, a head taller. His initiative. It's 8 plus 6, 14.
Wood creature?
Just put villager.
Wood guy.
14.
They had him in the basement.
He begins moving forth from the crowd. As he grows closer, you realize that he's wearing the trappings of a person. He's wearing clothes and has the flesh of a man, and he's kind of large and rotund, broad shoulders. He looks like Dendish Almstead. But crowning his head is this huge face of a goat with these curled horns that come forward. And you see him kind of pressing toward you. What do you want to do? You've stalled the villagers.
As long as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, is anybody near me that I can like? I can't leave them, right? I mean,
you give Sir Harrison a sharp kick to the side, but he doesn't do anything. He's seeing stars right now. All of them are knocked out. To you all, it's like you get this deepening sense of vertigo, and it's kind of like these shapes and sounds are happening around you. You almost kind of feel like you're wobbling back and forth, despite the fact that you're either laying face down in the muck, or you're twisted up like a marionette on the ground, or perhaps in Gaunter's case, he's leaning against a tree looking toward the stars, or in Tux, he's just simply face first on the ground, clinging onto like to the grass where he'd almost slipped earlier. Wesley is not moving. Madame Krista is curled up. None of them have their wits about them.
What is this?
So 1 minute has passed at this point.
Seriously. And what is that?
Are you going to continue trying to stall?
Whatever I can do. I mean, what else can I do? I mean,
That's right.
I mean, I can't stab 4 people
That's right.
with a goat man coming.
As he begins to approach, you realize that he kind of pulls the head of this goat off of his face, and you can see Dendish Almstead as he straightens his hair. All will be fine. Drop your weapon.
No, fucking goat guy. What is this? Explain this.
Everything will be fine.
No. We've seen the crypts. I told all these people. What is some weird cult?
We do things here differently in Dunhallow Village, Mr. Marius.
No, the stewards save you. This is not different. This is evil.
I did not mean any harm to come to Lord Wesley, only that he would come to join us.
Yeah, come to join us and then become one of you in this creepy whatever this is. So is old Downing is going to become Wesley, and Wesley's going to become Downing, like Maud is now the bitch queen. And that's right, I said it. The bitch queen.
You call out the words, and he kind of smiles politely. You can see her through the crowd, but she is captivating the villagers as she's speaking to them. Your eyes are locked with Dendish. Everything else is kind of outside of your vision and your ear sight. You're focused strictly on him.
I mean, there's 4 of you. You get near me, you'll take me, but I'm going to cut one of you.
He lowers his hands and reaches toward a jug at his side. All will be fine as he hands you this jug. Take a drink, calm down, I will explain everything. He hands the jug to you. Will you take it?
No, I'm good. You can explain it without me drinking whatever
He will
that
take
is.
from the jug and everything is fine. He takes a long pull and you can see his throat swallowing. He's clearly swallowing water, just kind of coming over his lips, and he wipes his beard clean with the water too. It's from the spring. Everything is fine.
You all are drinking this. It's not fine. How can you say any of this is fine?
Suddenly you hear this kind of screaming sound coming from the villagers. One of them goes flying into the air like a doll, like a rag doll, twisted and thrown up through the air. Your eyes look past Dendish and look in toward Maud, and you see her kind of take 2 steps back. Then suddenly this huge, shambling bear begins to tear through the villagers, barreling up toward the hill. As he comes up on all 4s and raises these huge, massive claws, he rakes across Dendish's back, and Dendish's back is turned to ribbons. As your eyes kind of widen and blood just begins spurting from all around Dendish's back. You need to make another resolve test. This is challenging.
I think if you make it, you're going to barely make it.
Okay, resolve challenging 46. 07. I don't know what.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't rolled a.
Your eyes
success in
kind of
3 weeks.
widen, and suddenly the creature goes. Rah! You feel the heat coming from its breath as it kind of looks. Its snout turns toward the others, back and forth, and the other 5 begin to scatter quickly. Maud and the others begin to disappear as the villagers begin to flee into the darkness. And you see this great shambling shape kind of. You see the creature's huge bear steps over Dendish and kind of groans and grunts and sniffs deeply and licks from the wounds of this massive black tongue. You're no closer. You're no closer than I am to than you and I are to this great huge bear.
Okay, I will slide the knife in now. Just slide around the tree.
You begin to back away, and it's clear this creature is taken with Dendish.
If I can grab any of them, I'll try to pull them away.
Sure. You grab a hold of Sir Harry. You grab a hold of Wesley by the back of his back of his neck ruff, and begin to kind of pull him backwards. The creature grabs a hold of Dendish, and almost like a large dog with a puppy, like its child, just kind of picks up Dendish by the nape of his neck. And the huge bear, lined with this big gray stripe down its back, begins to shamble back down the hill. You hear this kind of heavy thud of its great paws striking the earth as it scrambles back down the hill. The villagers have completely fled. The fire is still burning. Maud and the others are completely gone. And that great bear settles before the roots of the tree and drops Dendish to the ground. And simply slumps over its great weight, kind of like settling over Dendish almost. Just kind of resting over it. And then suddenly there's this gristling, this kind of snapping sound as the creature is now consuming Dendish. And you can hear this kind of snapping and breaking and this gristling sound and this kind of wet mess as the creature is literally consuming Dendish before the tree. All the villagers have fled.
Okay, I'll stop moving him, and I'm gonna smack him. I'm gonna take my water skin and spray it on his face.
Well, they're actually only knocked out for 3 minutes because the round bonus of the villager was 3. They begin to slowly kind of come about.
It's it's each one.
Down the hill, you can all see as your eyes can begin to focus. There's just this huge bear. down below, down the hill toward the root of the tree, and it's feasting on something. You can see its gray stripe kind of illuminated by the fire that's burning in a pit nearby before this huge gnarled tree. A lot of the villagers are gone. The ones that surrounded you are gone as well. But there's this kind of wet mess that kind of trickles down the side of the hill and kind of glistens almost like the color of wine, clearly blood and viscera, as this creature, just this huge fucking bear, like just took Dindish down the hill toward the tree and is now eating him. You can see just bits of his hand and his clothing that you may identify, and your stomachs begin to instantly sour as you see this.
What the?
He was wearing a goat head, and they tried to take you, and
there's this howling coming from the bear as it steps up onto all fours. You can hear its great weight and birth kind of thud, thud across the earth, and it howls toward the night as it turns toward you and kind of rears up onto both legs with both of its arms like such and roars toward you. A deafening roar. It drops down upon all fours and begins slowly meandering toward you.
The bear saved me.
Let's not test it.
Bears don't save people, man. Bears eat people.
I believe it just ate a person.
He did eat a person. Let's go. You're right. He saved me. I'm not crazy. They were gonna kill me and you.
Let's go.
Okay.
I say we stay. If this bear meant us dead, he could have eaten us all.
You were all passed out underneath the bear, basically.
If this bear was part of their ritual, they would have stayed.
Is this one of those where it's flour, not sugar?
This ain't sugar or flour. That's a fucking bear.
It's a bear.
I have seen things tonight that I never want to see again. If that bear can help us, then we need its help. I think, is that your friend? The one you let sup by your fire? I'm telling you, he was a creature. None of you believe me. Then he had a goat head on. Then he got ripped in half. What do you think you were all passed out.
So you're
I'm
saying...
going to straighten myself up and start brushing off the...
I'm going to put all of them between me and the bear, just in case, though.
You're thinking that bear ate Dindish because he looked like a goat?
No. I don't think they planned on the bear being at the celebration. The crazy, blue-eyed mod... I don't know, the people were worshiping her. They were telling me everything's going to be all right. Here, drink this water. And then the bear ripped him in half. That's how it happened.
Tuck is dumbfounded with his mouth open, staring at Cole. You can see that the gears in his head are turning, and he'll believe just about anything, but he still doesn't quite know what to do. It's like...
It's okay. I'm going to put you all between me and the bear, so if the bear goes rampant, I'm still okay.
What are you doing, Sir Harrison?
It's like step back behind.
Is the bear still approaching us? Like
It's
how
at the-
far?
it's
How
at the-
far is?
It's at the foot of the hill, no more than 10 yards away.
Don't run.
And you know that bears run fast.
Don't
Yeah.
run from the bear.
I ready my mortuary sword, slowly pulling it from the sheath.
No. I put my knife away, he walked away. Me and the bear are okay.
Inspector,
Let's
trust
just-
the bear, and the Lord trusts the bear. I guess I trust the bear too.
We missed our chance to run away when we didn't flee the village immediately. I think now we make our stand and see what this bear does. Because if this bear doesn't kill us, likely the villagers will.
They were coming after you, my lord.
If they wanted my
There's another
attention, they could
fire.
have called for me.
I'll point
Instead,
out.
they...
See, what you've not seen? That's your fire.
The bear ambles about at the foot of the hill, kind of almost pacing as if to protect the meat that it has to eat, to perhaps feed itself and its young.
It's
Everyone's
So it's
going to
not
stop
coming
and
any
roar
closer?
toward the top of the hill.
They make a survival
it's-
test. Is it trying to say go away essentially?
Well, you can tell it's trying to protect its food.
Okay, so if I can
Yeah.
just make that, then
Okay.
let's walk away then.
I'll point out to the other fire. I know you didn't see this. That's your fire. That's where Hugo is.
You think Hugo is in the fire?
No, you were supposed to be over there in that tree.
So
How do you not
pointing
understand
to
the
one that's on
transference at this point? Madame Christo and I have explained it so many times. I'm confused.
So you're saying that's the other fire is where the other...
You can tell that there are still villagers in the forest as you're deliberating over this point.
Wait.
There are sounds in the woods of villagers. This place is not safe to remain or to flee.
It seems that if Tuck were somewhere else at the moment he finally came back, and he says, I don't know what to think. He seems to have an idea, and that's more than any of us have, so let's do it.
Okay, so we're leaving them.
Unless someone else has got anything. I'm out. I don't know what to do, so I say we do what you do.
We can't fight a whole village.
You can see torches being lit in the woods.
Let's move.
I want to head back towards the manor house. So if we're going to hold off a bunch of villagers, it's going to be there. Or we head towards Dunhallow. Those are the two options I put forward. As I start walking towards the manor house, waiting for someone to convince me otherwise.
The manor house.
Just came from there. We just saved our lives from there.
But he's wanting to go to the fire.
If you want to go to the other fire, we can go to the other fire. But I'm going to start heading towards the manor house. If we need a place to defend ourselves, that is the place to do so.
If you say so, my lord.
Old Lord sounds like just as good a place any to do that to me.
All right, I'm going to follow him if that's where he's going.
Lord Wesley strikes back out through the woods. You will have to evade the villagers, or else you will be beset upon. The villagers are still lingering around, and you can see torches begin to kind of pop up mid the forest. There's one out toward the west, there's one toward the nearby hill, one down toward the dell, a few back down toward the village. You will need to escape this. So, it will be a short chase scene. So who here has the... we need to know who has the least amount of movement. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
7.
7.
8.
Okay, so 7 it is. Who wants to be the dedicated roller for this?
I'll roll.
Are you a 7?
Yeah.
Okay, then good.
Okay. You have a little bit of a head start, so roll a d10, add your movement in 3.
Okay.
This is the escape condition.
6 plus 3 is
And then your
9
movement.
plus movement of 7 is 16.
Okay. Their movement. That's 5. You begin walking through the woods, wandering around. You know you want to head toward the manor, but you cannot simply take a straight shot there.
Right.
There's too many people around. You can see fires out in the woods. They continue pursuit. You continue moving. Go ahead and roll your test again. It's a d10 plus movement is all you need to roll now.
3 plus 7 is 10.
The torchlight begins to wane. You think that you have perhaps some distance between them until you pop up over a nearby hill and you can see a pair of torches coming from the woods. 2 people kind of wandering around with these shillelaghs in hand. This woman and this young child. They're calling out for you. Lord Wesley, come to us. Everything will be fine. Please, Lord Wesley, we mean you no harm. You hunker down between some bushes and you wait for them to pass. You look for Tuck. He is already a few yards ahead of you. You wait until the torches pass and continue moving. Roll a final time. Drop it on the ground. It's a 1.
This will be 15 this time.
15. Okay, let's see what happens. You begin to break through the woods and head into the Greylands. The torches and the people, the villagers of Dunhallow, continue to seek you out, but you narrowly escape. Sometime later, you find yourselves back at the still pond, back at the tragedy, where your uncle had passed away at a very young age. You all are growing very tired. So tired that you all suffer 16 mental peril.
Ah!
Ooh.
You are growing extremely tired. You've been kind of put through hell and back, and the night has grown long. The fires still seem to burn on the horizon, despite the fact it is late, early in the morning. You would guess about 2 or 3 at this point.
Mhm.
There's like a light fog that lingers across all the Greylands, thus its namesake. Fog lingers across the still pond. Where it was clear earlier, the fog has crept in.
Why don't we sleep with the caves? I can take first watch. My eyes, I have the best vision. Everyone else can sleep.
I could sure use a few hours of shut-eye.
We do not want to go back in that mantle without being right in the head.
I can agree to this. We can find a place to rest.
Fair enough.
Where the hunter was at.
I think.
Go back to the manor during the day.
Yeah.
You strike out wildly into the hills, or you go to the cave that you know?
The cave that we know.
You've been heading around walking around the edge of the lake. The edge
Is
of
it
the
straight up
tragedy.
from the lake?
It is.
Right? Yeah.
It is, in fact. You find yourselves back toward that stony plinth where you had found the Gralstetter, the hunter, from before. Most of what he or she had there has still been left behind, that which you didn't take. The fire is dead, of course.
Is the deer still hung up?
It's buzzing with flies and gnats.
So they never returned then, we can presume?
No. Do you want to strike camp here? Will you build a fire?
No.
No fire.
No, but I'll have Gaunter help me take and just toss the animal.
Sure.
Walk it away from us and toss it down the hill.
You will stay out here in the dead of night into the wee hours of morning. Let's see if anything happens. It's mildly dangerous out here. Gaunter, roll a d6 fairy die, or chaos die. If you roll a face 6, they found you.
Found you.
Deuce.
Okay. Morning comes and awakens you all from a fitful slumber. You did not rest easy at all here this evening. In fact, you only go up the peril condition track 2 steps.
Okay. I took watch, so I don't go up at all. Right.
That's correct.
Okay. I would rather have the people
Yeah.
that can swing a sword.
You can. Cole has been pacing all morning, and his eyes are completely bloodshot. He's incredibly tired, but he's been wide-eyed the entire night. You've been watching out in the darkness, and you've seen a few torches bob out there in the distance, but none within the Greylands, just along the edges. You can still, when you waken in the morning, there's a light morning mist that kind of lingers throughout the Greylands, and you could smell burning wood from some distance out. It's very, very faint. It's a very chilly autumn morning. It's so cold you can see your breath in front of you.
Is the kettle still there?
It is, yes.
I'll pour out whatever was in it, that whatever root tea, and if we have anyone who has a water skin, I'll make myself some coffee.
Sure.
My lord, do we want to start a fire?
Just
and
a
I'll
small
point
one.
out where I've seen them patrolling. They're still looking for you.
Is it dawn yet?
It is dawn. It's barely dawn.
Still see the smoke.
A few more minutes, probably be alright. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of smoke in the sky out in these parts this morning.
Did you see anyone head towards the manor?
No, it was all. There was no one in the Greylands, just on the edges. They're looking for us in the forest. They probably think we went up a tree.
That or ran back to Lork. But perhaps a cup of coffee will help us.
It's an option, isn't it? At some point, run back to Lork.
It's definitely an option, but I don't know if they would let me even rest there.
Oh yeah?
Well, they summoned me. They summoned me for a reason. They could have done that whole ritual last night without me. What part did I play? Which means I still have yet some part to play.
Wait, so if they's needing you because of your blood, no? What's that make Maud?
I don't know.
Your aunt?
Well, she is now, but...
Soon to be your lover?
I see what Tuck's saying here. I mean, there has to be a connection of some sort for the, I guess, the curse, for lack of a better term, be effective. Or passed down, if you will. Hell, I don't know. This sounds like some of the stories they used to tell around the fire when we was kids at the carnival growing up at camp there.
Same. These are the stories your mother tells you so you don't pick on your younger siblings.
They're like ghost stories, you know? Shit that ain't supposed to be true.
Like a bear mauling a man and then eating him.
The bear saved my life and yours.
I agree, but it's the stories you tell someone to keep them in line.
Now, a bear eating a man's one thing, but a bear who may be a man eating a man, that's a whole nother ball of wax there, boys.
I don't know who's a man. That bear, we owe that bear our lives.
Or was it the goat that you thought was the man? I don't know. Like,
Dindish was wearing a goat head.
what do you mean he was wearing a goat head?
A mask. Like a head of a goat, but it was used as a mask.
Oh, I see.
That was some weird cult crazy shit.
And the bear picked him out of all those people to attack.
Well, maybe he thought it was a goat.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, he'd taken the silly goat head thing off and was trying to tell me to put down my knife, and I was trying to protect you guys. And I'm going to be honest with you,
The
I
bear
was doing a
talked?
very poor job of it.
Well, you did good enough.
Indeed.
But I tried to stall. It's foggy. Let's just say it's foggy. What is the plan now, my lord? You wanted to come back to the manor house.
Indeed.
What is your plan? Because I'm all for cutting our losses and just leaving and coming back with authorities.
Small army?
And who would I call upon?
Ghostbusters?
I'd say that's
Sorry.
probably
You walked right into
directly tied to how much coin you got, sir.
Well, right now, I have, as I'll lightly jink my purse of coins, about this much, but I don't believe it'll buy me an army.
Well,
What I need is, well,
remember how dark it is in there. We're really going to have to plan out what we do, my lord. Because we don't know what that those eyes. I will never forget those eyes. That blue within blue, like the picture. I'll look right at him.
And just
I'll point at Tuck.
like that?
Like the
It's the Hermosty. That's what we're dealing with. And I heard, or something, maybe they cast a spell on everyone. Maybe that's what's keeping everyone crazy. Maybe if we can just take out this Hermosty, everything will be okay.
Wait.
they were worshiping them.
You want to fight a Hemosty?
I don't want to, but the curse will remain if we don't.
That's why it's so dark in there.
Well, what's a herm nasty?
The dead that walk.
Man, you boys got to understand. I can hardly read. I ain't heard ghost stories since I was a little boy, so I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Walking Dead?
or you know, just anything really. Oh, demons, you know,
Witches, imps.
monsters.
All the things you're told about that are in the dark that don't exist.
Oh, they exist.
Well, now we know
And
they
they're all,
exist.
and they're all nasty.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
And if we go in, right where the bridge is, and we just put 3 nails up above the bridge, we'll be fine.
Right.
Oh yeah, sure. And you show up every Saturday morning, dressed nice, and you put a tenth of your income in the plate when they pass it around, and you'll go to paradise when you die.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's between you and the martyr and the
Superstition.
custodian, and
Sounds like I love you, Tuck, but you know how I think, old buddy. That's all superstition. Man.
We're dealing with something that ain't natural. I'll take any help I think can work. 3 nails hammered takes less than a minute to do. We may as well.
only we could climb up there.
And who the hell has nails and a hammer? I'm no carpenter. My lord, I'm paid to do a job.
Well,
Sir Harrison,
I gotta.
you see a carriage out in the distance rumbling along what serves as the road through the Greylands. You can see it break through the mist.
You hear that? I point off towards it.
It's like Ernst's coach. It's very hard to see who's sitting in the driver's seat or in the passenger seat at this point.
So the fire's still going, I'll kick it out.
It's very early in the morning.
Is it coming from or to?
It's going to the manor.
No one happen to have a looking glass, right?
Who has a looking glass?
'Cause I don't think anyone does have a looking glass.
Oh, you do?
No,
Oh, you do? You're right.
Mhm.
You want to give it to Wesley?
I got better eyes than that. Blind lord.
You pull out the looking glass and you look through the... you look out toward it. You can see this doddering old gargoyle of a man. Kind of he's holding the reins of the horse that's kind of pulling this wagon. It's Ernst. It's the same man who had ferried you and the rest from Old Lork through the crossroads to here, to Dunhallow Village. The top of the caravan is laden with trunks, a great number of trunks that look like they would threaten to fall over, save for the fact that they're actually strapped down with leathers. And you could see upon those trunks there are the symbols of your lord, the Lord Wesley. Sitting inside you can't really see because the door is shut and the windows are drawn, the curtains are closed. But there is a very young girl sitting on the passenger side seat with Ernst, dressed in this kind of loose, kind of pinkish color dress, the color of confection, the color of a rose.
I'll relay all that.
Oh, shit. This is not the time.
Did you send for your family?
No. But they may have come. Didn't just probably sent for them. We need to head out and cut off that carriage.
Does anybody else remember?
Distance that you're at, with no horses, you will never catch up to it.
Now I'm mad. So now now we go to the manor. Now.
Do you remember that old man said he couldn't take the carriage up here? Made our asses walk. I know that doesn't matter right now, but it's the little things. Everything in this place is a lie. I have been proven right. You all told me I was crazy.
I follow after the Lord.
I'm sorry I have not slept. Let's go after your wife, my lord.
You begin to move. The Lord is moving at a very swift pace, but it is hard to maintain, for the Greylands are rocky and uneven ground, and lots of scree and rubble makes it hard footing. But you press on. Do you want to move double time? Try to get to the manor as fast as you can?
I do, yes.
Okay. You will unfortunately lose sight of carriage, but the Greylands are a hard walk, if you recall. And well, it's not an easy walk. You're basically kind of hiking toward the manor home, but Lord Wesley is driven by a fire within his belly, and you all struggle to keep up. You all must make a standard athletics test. Because you're moving double time now, so normally.
48, 50?
22.
38. 95. Fail.
Alright.
I'm fucked up.
3 physical peril.
Ooh.
Okay.
You feel that? I'm sorry, it's 2d7. What am I doing? Sorry. My apologies. 2, 5, 7, 9 physical peril. We'll try that again.
Still good.
Does coffee actually have any sort of effect on anything? Any stats? No. It's just a flavor text? Okay, great.
You just spent a bunch of money on it.
Sorry, no, I just like...
Coffee.
You spent on your own.
It's a deliriant. I'm seeing robots. Maybe coffee should be in Vanguard. I should never think about that. We have like every other type of intoxicant.
You don't have caffeine?
You gotta have the caffeine.
Bro, you got
crash.
B12?
That's right.
You gotta have the caffeine.
The
crash.
caffeine crash. See what happens in the middle of having a
Like
little game.
Superman. 2 hours later.
I can look at doing something like that. Let's see. I'll add to my list. I got a few things I had to update anyway.
Do 20 push-ups and 20 sit-ups in the morning, and you'll get an equal endorphin
That's right.
boost as you would from a giant cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're in America here, aren't we?
Yeah. So,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. I can chug coffee faster.
you're
than
feeling very winded by the time you're kind of making the slog up the hill. The carriage is, you can see it is parked outside, beyond the drawbridge.
Mm-hmm.
That's open, of course, welcoming you inside. You begin to approach the twin towers, kind of almost threatening to collapse, that overlooks this underpass that leads onto the plateau where the great Winterborne manor, this formidable old castle from the Second Age, you can see in its full glory and light as the sun crests the nearby hills at about 9 a.m. in the morning, kind of illuminated this old, dilapidated, nearly collapsed castle that has stood for an age, and it's just time has begun to drag it down the hill off the plateau. You can see there are parts that are completely gone. They've collapsed down into the hills below. As you make your way toward the twin towers, where of course between them is the drawbridge where the ravine is, you can see that the coachman's coach is outside with that old nag, that black mare that had drawn you here before. The coachman is not there. The trunks are mostly still fixed to the top of the wagon. They have not been moved. You open the doors, and of course, almost kind of fruitlessly, you know that they're not there, but you must still look.
Right.
You open the doors of the coach, and your wife and daughters are not inside.
All right. I'll pull out my lamp and assumingly pour in some oil, ready. And
Do you need a pot of oil?
I got a lot of oil.
He's got the lantern back. If he wants the lantern, there you go.
Right, and so I will start marching towards the Great Hall.
Okay.
How does a candle work? That's all I have left.
Well, a candle gives you
Everyone
a
at the
little
party
bit of
puts
light.
a hand in front of it. We all walk together.
So a candle will last for 3 hours, but gives you perfect light from within 5 yards.
Oh, okay.
Gives you fleeting shadows within 9 yards. 10 yards is dark. A lamp. You have a lamp or a lantern, Lord Wesley?
It was a lantern.
Okay. A lantern's 15 yards of light. A lamp and a candle is 5 yards of light.
Lamp turn.
I left the lamp before we went to the woods. So
Yeah, it's gone.
Remember
Nobody
you guys
bothers
were
picking
like-
it up.
it's time to put it down.
Poor lamp.
That's right.
I love lamp.
Let's see if you lost anything in the fracas when you were leapt upon by the villagers
And the bear.
Oh, yeah.
in the darkness. So, first off, who has lamp oil?
I have bottles of oil. Yeah.
Okay, so how many bottles do you have?
Just the one.
Roll 1d6. If it's face 6, it broke.
Clank.
How many do you have?
I had 5.
Roll face 6 for each. Or d6.
1, nothing. 2, nothing. 3, nothing. 4, nothing. 5, nothing.
Alright, that's good. Anything else that you feel would be breakable?
What is smelling salts coming?
What's it now?
What is smelling salts coming?
Oh, they're like little. They're
Probably wrapped in
they're
a piece of
they're perfumes.
So
They're little like
in a
perfumes.
vial.
So I
Yeah.
have 3 smelling
So
salts,
those
2
are breakable
laudanums.
if they're in a
Yes.
vial as opposed to powder.
So
in
we'll do you first here. How many do you have?
1.
Okay.
26.
Yep.
Boom, 6.
Any laudanum?
No.
I got a half a cask of ale on me.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
All right. Roll face 6 or d6.
Nothing.
Okay.
Deuce.
What do you have?
I have 2 laudanum, 3 smelling salts.
Okay. Roll for each.
Alright, laudanum 1. Keep. Laudanum 2. Broken.
Oh.
Smelling salts 1.
it's rough.
Keep. 2. Keep. 3. Broken. So I got 2 smelling salts.
Anything else that you have?
I got nothing.
I have a lot of them too.
I'm going to actually go ahead and take one of my smelling salts.
All right.
And
Get a corruption for that, of course.
Course, of
smelling
course.
salt.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look, just keep rolling ones over
That's
here.
right.
I'm glad. I hope I
All
get those
night.
out before we get any.
That's right.
And a writing kit? I don't think that's would break, do you? That's the only other thing that I can think of.
No,
Oh, my looking glass, but I just used
you
it.
just use it. What kind of weapon do you have?
I have a dirk and a blackjack.
You're fine because you weren't knocked out.
Oh,
Sir
shit.
Harrison,
Mortuary sword and a
what may you have left behind?
swagger stick.
Okay, your mortuary sword,
Is a-
4 to 6,
Okay.
and it's lost.
4.
He did pull it out, though.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that makes it worse. Sorry.
And the
And
swagger
swagger
stick.
stick, 4 to 6.
1.
Okay.
I have a court sword.
Okay. Roll it's 4 to 6.
5.
Okay, it's gone.
Okay, great.
You lost it. Your
I have a knuckle duster and a scythe on my back. Nothing drawn.
your knuckle duster you wouldn't lose, but your scythe you could have left behind.
Okay.
So it's going to be for 5 to 6 for you.
3.
Okay.
Hunting bow and throwing knives.
Oh, hunting bow, 4 to 6. Or sorry, 5 to 6. We'll say it's straight on your back.
3.
Okay. Any arrows? How many arrows do you have?
I have 5 total. 3 regular, 2 ironwood.
Okay. Roll face 6 and you lose 1.
5.
Okay, keep rolling.
Oh.
You got how many arrows?
This will be the regular arrows.
Mhm.
First one. Good. What's that?
3.
Good. Ironwood. Good and good.
Okay. You take account of the things that you may have lost or broken along the way when you were knocked out in the woods or were running for your lives, and you recognize that you've left things in your wake. Perhaps in your haste, you did not take account of such things, but now that you're here and beginning to collect things, you recognize that you are bereft of most everything. However, Lord Wesley, you hop up inside the wagon and open the coachie's box, and you find the blunderbuss that you'd had no more than 8-9 days before when you passed through the village. There's a blunderbuss and 5 shot.
Okay.
I'll also offer my walking cane for him if he wants to use it.
It's an improvised weapon.
It's a weapon, though. It's better than not.
That's right. The coach and all your accoutrements, your trappings that were going to be packaged up and brought here have been brought here for you. mostly clothing and things to survive the winter.
Right.
The rest of your furnishings will be were likely to be brought later, once you would settle accounts.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let's see here. All right, let's go inside.
All of you need to immediately make a hard awareness test. See if you spy anything before you step inside.
27.
32.
25.
You said hard?
Hard.
Yeah, 26.
99.
Down.
It's my second 99 this night. I'm just walking
Critical
right into it.
success. 0, 0, 0.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
critical
that's
That's
failure.
100.
Or that's 100?
That's a critical
Yeah.
failure.
Failure. There's no 0, 0.
Oh, that would have been a
1 through 100.
Yeah, my bad.
So you critically failed, and you critically failed. So I think that you probably don't recognize what's about to happen at all. By the time that you cross the drawbridge, you hear this sound from within the walls, like this groaning and churning and rattling, and then suddenly the light that fills the inside of this entrance chamber you walk in grows darker and darker as the chains, broken free of rust and age that held them fast, have been activated somewhere within, perhaps outside, but the drawbridge is being closed to encase you inside of Winterborne Manor. Glug, 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 ka-chunk! And it's dark, save for your lanterns. And we'll continue next week. 100 reward points, everybody.
Awesome.
Do we have some corruption time, I believe?
Oh, yeah.
Ew.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Oh,
Bye, guys.
Take care, everybody. Thank you. See you next week.